Hey there, little berries and newberries, Airy Berry here. I thought I'd film this just to give you guys an update on what's going on with me and the channel. And immediately after filming this, I am going to film the next deep dive. Now, that's the first thing I want to clarify. Deep dives are staying. They are going to be the main point of the channel. The reason why shorts have, well, the channel's been very short heavy recently is because a couple of years ago, I did some short versions of the deep dives for TikTok. I did about 7 or 8, I think, and they didn't do that well. I did a few promotions on them to see how they went, but they didn't really go anywhere. And then about a year ago, I thought, as an experiment, I would take one of them, the Greek with Stadmurder's one, which was the first one I did, and put that on YouTube as a short. And it didn't do that great. And I thought, whatever. But then about a few months ago, I saw that a lot of other YouTubers, particularly true crime YouTubers, do shorts for their longer videos. And I thought, you know what, that's actually a really good idea. Why don't I just take the others that I've done on TikTok and put them on YouTube and see how they do? I did, and they did well. Some of them didn't do that well, but generally speaking, they did well. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go through my entire back catalogue of all of the deep dives that I've done and do shorts for all of them, except for the ones that are already up. And therefore, they're all done. And I said I would post them on YouTube, Instagram, and on TikTok. And they've done really well. They, though, are only shorts for the longer deep dives. I'm not going to do shorts for cases I haven't done as a deep dive. Going forward, though, every deep dive will have its accompanying short, which will be put out afterwards. So I want to assure you the channel is not changing. I want to keep this channel consistent and be just about doing deep dive true crime cases. I think I've said deep dive too many times, but anyway, that's what's going on. But also, to do all of the shorts, it did help me personally, and also in terms of my work life and university, because in October university started again and I got ahead on some of my studies and then I got behind on some of my studies, needed an extension, and now I am up to date again. So that is one of them, but I try and coordinate my full-time work, because I work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and university and YouTube. I try and choreograph them so I can do all three. That is a challenge, but I can do it. And I like a challenge. But as quite a lot of you know, earlier in the year, my wife was diagnosed with stage 4 bowel cancer. Started in the bowel, spread to the liver and the lungs, and she's been having aggressive treatment since. Now, my wife is a very private person, and I don't think she'd appreciate me giving all the details of her health over the internet. A lot of people don't understand is that they don't understand that cancer affects the spouse and the family and the close friends. It affects everyone. It doesn't just affect the affected. I remember watching something on television years ago where a man said that he felt very lonely and put to the side when his wife was diagnosed with cancer, because people have been rallying around her, but hardly anyone had asked how he is doing. And it's not just about the emotional toll that the aggressive treatments and the consultants and the unknown, that is difficult. But what is also can be very stressful is that now that my wife can't do much around the house, in addition to work, YouTube and uni, I'm having to pick up pretty much all the domestic chores, which I'm more than happy to do. To be honest, I quite like doing them, and I can put my earbuds in while I'm cleaning and doing stuff, because I can listen to podcasts and I can do case research when I'm doing it, so I can multitask. Over the last 2 months, it has got particularly bad. My wife had, again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but at the beginning of the year, she had an operation, and the team said that they didn't want to start chemo straight away because apparently chemo attacks not just the cancer, but it also attacks other cells that aren't growing normally, and scar tissue, healing tissue, incisions where you've had an operation is not normal tissue. So they wanted to give the scar time to heal. The problem is, though, the type of operation my wife had, the skin can sometimes rupture when on chemo because it sometimes even reverses the healing process. That happened a couple of times in the summer. It was pretty damn scary, but it was dealt with. In October, end of September, beginning of October, over a period of 2 weeks, 3 ruptures occurred involving a lot of blood and urgent hospital transport. And my wife on one occasion was in hospital for 2 days, another one was just overnight, and the other one was 3 days. And it was scary. Luckily, she's been okay since. We have had some updates in that, because before having chemo, they have to have a blood test to see if they can accept it. And the last one was she couldn't accept it. Sometimes we don't know whether it's cancer related or chemo related. There are some weird and strange symptoms, and some of them can be really debilitating and painful and scary. It's I posted a few months ago that the chemo my wife was on was working for a while, and then it stopped working on the lungs, still working on the bowel and the liver, but not on the lungs. And now, after she changed chemo, we now find that the liver is a problem. But again, I'm not going to go into much more detail than that. I think I've already given enough away. So my wife hasn't, she used to have a YouTube channel. She doesn't do it anymore. And she's not very much into documenting or blogging or anything like that about her journey. All I can say is what it's like as a spouse with someone with stage 4 cancer. And I can tell you, it's fucking scary. If any of you have seen on my main channel, a little while ago, I posted that I was diagnosed with MEN1. I've actually posted it on a community page on this channel as well. MEN1 is a rare genetic disorder. It stands for multiple endocrine neoplasia type 1. There's 4 types. I don't know anything about the other 3, but I've got the type 1. And it's where the endocrine system develops tumours, and sometimes they can become cancerous. I have tumours in my pancreas and my pituitary gland. I did have one in my parathyroid. I had them removed. My pancreas is under observation. They're currently benign, and I'm on a sort of like a hormone type thing called lanreotide. It's a hormone that we make normally when we eat, but this one lasts a month. And I've been on that for 5.5 years now. And so far, my tumours are stable. Pituitary has grown a bit, but, they're not that worried about that. I recently had, in September, my annual consultation and blood tests. I don't have to have an MRI this year, which is great. But I did get a text message yesterday saying that my doctors want to talk to me about a letter about that appointment. So I don't know what that's about, but it's probably about my calcium levels. I'm not sure. But I'm trying not to think about it too much and think no matter what happens, worrying does not help. It really does not help. Crying does not help, but sometimes you just can't help it. And I'd be lying if I said the thought of widowhood doesn't terrify me, because it does. If it happens, I have to deal with it. But I can tell you this channel's not going anywhere. I wanted to make this video because about 80% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so that presumably they're only there for the deep dive. So I thought I'd do this as a separate rather than incorporate it into one of the videos and have someone have to skip forward or click off. So I will now get on and film that, and it's going to need a hell of a lot of editing, but once it's out, I really, really do hope that you enjoy that very much. And I will see you very, very soon, little berries. Thank you so much for your support and your love. I appreciate it much. If you are a subscriber and you would like to support me, you can either drop me a super thanks or join the channel to get those extra perks. You don't have to at all. It's only if you want to. But I really do wish you all the best wherever you are, little berries. Love you. Bye.